Okay, folks, today we are going to complete what I should have completed like 3 months ago, which was doing a 2-inch, 1-inch leveling kit on the Bronco instead of just doing 1 inch at all 4 corners. As you can probably see, the back is a good 1.25 inches higher than the front, which is about how it comes from the factory, but I actually don't like that look. I thought I would because it's sort of the stock look, but so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna finish the front part by doing the rest of the 2-inch leveling kit on it, and then we'll see how it looks after that. I'm also going to... Okay, folks, so here's the equipment we're gonna install today. Well, I say today, probably the next couple of days as I work on it a little bit here and there. And then because Zone Off-Road said they highly recommend these upper arms, we're going to go ahead and install those as well. And then here's the rest of the 2-inch kit right here, and then the corresponding hardware. All right, folks, so what we're doing here now is I took off this bolt right here, took off that bolt right there. I took off this, it's the bottom of the A-arm. And now I looked and I can get access to in there to try to put a wrench on that and a wrench on that to try to get it out. And this does have enough space. It says you have to take the liner out. I'm not sure if that's on the driver's side or the passenger or both. I was trying to do it without taking the liner out is what I would like to do. I don't know that I'll be able to do that, but we'll see. So I think once the bolt's out, it just slides right out. I'll have to knock this loose first, though. The nut is off, but that's still pressed in there, so I'll have to do that. So I'll update you as I get going here. Okay, folks, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is Ford still has sorry clips to keep in the inner fender. The good news is I only need to take out this one and this one to get enough space back there for the impact wrench to get this thing off, and slides right out like this. Already took the nut off the other side, and I think there's enough room, hopefully. It's a pretty long bolt. I mean, if there's not enough room, I don't know how they got it on, so it's actually that easy. So it actually was pretty easy. I will need to get 2 little doohickeys there, and we'll need 2 hands for this, so I'm going to let you go here, and I think we'll just be able to get it up around the back end of this thing. There's some lines there, but I think there's enough clearance to get this thing out, and then we'll work on taking that out and reusing that. So I'll pick you up after that. Okay, real quick, folks, so this one, unlike the one on the back, is slanted. If you look at your instructions, it'll tell you that. It'll tell you how to do it. But what I want to do is, as you can see there, you can custom cut these so they are below that level, right? You don't want them sticking up. They can be slightly below, but you don't want them too far below because you want that nut to grab. The other thing is, so here's just a quick comparison between the stock upper arm on the left and the Zone Off-Road control arm on the right. So I was able to use my 12-ton hydraulic press in the shop to get out the ball joint from the stock control arm, but you probably will need to rent a ball joint kit from someplace. I rented mine from Advanced Auto Parts, so it was like 200 something bucks, but they give you the whole 200 something bucks back once you bring the kit back, so just keep that in mind. I don't have video of that though. All right, folks, so I have the Zone Off-Road upper control arm in. I did fit it and then took everything out, so I had to undo the joint there. I'm started to use these things. Things are pretty handy. They came on the Ford Flex rear shocks, and I figured, oh, I'll probably use them for stuff like that, you know. And so you can push out the axle. So I pushed out the axle so it's not like extended further there, and this is all loosened up, so it's not stretching, and this is all loose, as you can see. And this is just kind of leaning there for right now. This is the remainder of the 1-inch leveling kit. I was thinking about leaving this in here to give me like an extra, whatever that is, 3/8 of an inch or something. And I might do that or I might not. It depends if my buddy wants it. And he wants to use the 1-inch leveling kit or something. But, so I'm going, all right, folks, come over here. Guys, we got this spring compressor on here, and it's a 13/16 or something very close to that. And I have not applied any pressurized air to it, just, I don't know, just caution or something. So I've gotten to the point where this is kind of loose, as you can see. So before you take this apart, you want to just make sure that the whole thing is marked so you have the correct alignment, because basically you're only going to shift the top hat. All the rubber stop points and the spring and everything is going to be in the same location as in the stock configuration. You're just rotating the top hat and the puck at the top. The hand do it the rest of the way. So the hat is going to go 180, where the rubber, whatever you want to call this thing, is not going to do that. That's going to stay the same. So I might go forward then every now and then. So that alignment will stay with the spring. This will go like this, or pretty close to it. We'll just have to mark the other side, like right here. Something like that. We still gotta do some cutting on this. Well, there's a lot of dirt in there. Okay, so now we can take the spring out. Still always want to be careful about this since it's not supposed to be in this configuration right now. I'm just going to lay this on the ground over here nice and easy. Now I'm going to take this off. It goes there. This comes off, I think. Maybe not. Certainly doesn't want to. Alright, we'll check the directions here because that goes right there. This is going to go like that. Remove this. Remove the dust boot right here. Get those things off. And then these are the new parts you put on. So it says to take this off, but it doesn't really say. It just says to have it where you don't have any of this here. So that's interesting, because this doesn't, they don't really tell you how to get this off. So I'm just kind of persuading it. And it is coming off. So to get these items off, all you need to do is just lightly tap each item a little bit. I have the brass hammer here to do that, and those things will come right off, and you'll be able to continue with your installation. I knew that would happen. Okay, so then this is the part that goes down here. And I guess that bumps it up a little bit. And then you reinstall this bad boy. And we want to stay with our alignments right here, as you can see. Interesting how easy that slides on there. So next is to assemble the rest of this junk, which is probably this again. See if that went a certain way. Let me just say you put this back on. You're going to put this bad boy on there, like so. And then we put the little spacer washer thing back on. Okay, I didn't put the nut on there on any of them. The first one I forgot, that's probably the only one that had enough distance to do it. And then these are pretty much right flush there. And, you know, pretty close to being flush there as well. The high part is the made in the USA. They state that in the instructions. So that part of the instructions was good. They're just missing some of the stuff on the instructions, which is why I'm making the video. So we'll move on to the next item. Well, as you can see, I do have the bottom part of the rubber mount holder on there before I completely assembled this right here. So, you know, I did notice that eventually when I had an extra part left over. And what I'm trying to do here is, I guess I'm, you know, just making sure everything is lined up correctly, because you don't really want to put, you can't really assemble it with the puck on there. You got to assemble the rest of the strut and then put the puck on at the end. Okay, so this mildly bothers me. Would this bother anyone else? So I could understand why 2 of them were longer or 4 of them were longer, but why is just 1 of them longer than the other ones? And even on the like shoulder area, I don't know if that's called the shoulder area, but you know what I'm saying. It's longer than that. Okay, a couple steps back, I did not put the rubber. So you have the metal piece here and then the rubber piece there. When I showed you like the dust boot back on and these things back on right here, I actually didn't show this rubber thing. So I've since put that on. And then also I had this almost all the way on. Actually, I did have it all the way on, all tightened with these bolts down and everything. And then I realized that this was over here. So it was not aligned. So I had to take it apart and make sure that that is in alignment, which it is. So anyways, just something to think about. You know, before you do the next step, you want to make sure you have the previous step correct. And I think once this is tight, before I put that on, I'm going to release the spring. So, okay folks, so this is the completely rebuilt shock, or strut I should say. So we'll see about installing. I might give it a go tonight, or may just wait till tomorrow. We'll see. Okay folks, so I sort of jumped ahead. Oh gosh, I almost forgot to put the axle nut on there. I will have to do that. But I didn't get everything else done. So I put these 2 10mm bolts back. I put the wheel mount nut on. There's probably another name for that. Where are you? The steering. Even though you can get the shock out without doing the sway bar, right here you're gonna have to take that off to get it to go down far enough to shove the new one in there with the extra spacer. These are tight too. I had an issue with this one, but it's all mangled now, but it's in there. So everything is tight and how it should be. So I'm gonna put the wheels on, but these are still loose. You're not supposed to tighten those until the vehicle is all the way on its own weight and you kind of roll it around a little bit, roll back and forth a little bit. then you're supposed to tighten them so they're supposed to settle, I guess. Hey folks, so as you can see, I kind of went forward and didn't do a whole lot of step-by-step on this part just because it was the second one. It did go much quicker. I probably should have videoed this one. Probably would have been a lot cooler video, but the only difference here is that you have to take apart the steering thing right here. As you can see, that's the steering linkage, so right now it doesn't steer. And this thing up here actually just slides down. So I had to figure that out. I had to look around on the internet to see if somebody had done it, because the first video I showed just said, yeah, you just disconnect it. I'm like, okay, well, there's the screw there and I can't get it out. But actually this thing just slides. So as you can see there, telescopes. So I will line that up and stick it back in there, and it's a 10mm bolt right there. Okay, so don't be me. Remember that these two bolts are the ones that keep all the sensors right here and right up there. Okay, and the long one is your steering shaft bolt. Well, so I use this for some reason. 10mm bolt right there. It goes in there. So, and you do need to take that out, because I was thinking I don't need to take that out because I can get around this without a problem, but I can't take the long bolt out. And then the only fender liner part that I took out was this. So you can avoid taking the fender liner out by and large. I took out two pegs or plugs or whatever you want to call those things on the other side, but I probably only need to take one, and you only need to take one here too. I think the other one I took was somewhere around here or something like that, but it's not that important. And then look what this says. It says, "Lift me, baby." That's kind of funny. I didn't notice that before when I did this work, but sure enough, there's a subliminal messaging from Ford to lift your Bronco. So who knew? But anyways, this is about done. I'm gonna go and get everything blue thread lockered, and everything is loose right now. Even this is loose. It looks tighter, but it's just to get it on there. And when you lift this up to reconnect everything, I would have this sitting on the control arm, not on the knuckle at the bottom, because that just makes it extremely difficult to do. And I think that's about all I can do. And then I did okay, final word of advice. I didn't do this on the first one, but I took off the fender flare on the second one, and that makes it a lot easier as far as bumping your head. So just a little word to the wise, take that off before you start your process. Okay folks, so that is actually a 1/4 inch squat at the moment. I think once the suspension settles and I get everything aligned, it'll be basically perfect. All right, folks, that wraps up the video. I hope you found it helpful. And if you liked the video, you can hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. And if you want to see more videos about the Bronco or my Ford Flex or the Ford F-150, you can hit the subscribe button as well. I appreciate you watching. Thanks, and have a great night. Bye.